So, what's been going on with you? Uh, it's kind of a one-way conversation here, um, which is fine. I just don't know what I'm going to talk about today. It's been, 2 weeks since I recorded something, and honestly, I can't come up with a single line of thought to express to you all right now. Maybe I'll get there. I don't know. It's a little early. It's been getting tougher and tougher to get out of bed in the morning, and I realized today that it might be related to age, diet, things like that. Um, could be any number of things, right? Just some mornings it's just a while before I'm really kind of going, and uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is one of those mornings. I've only been up for maybe an hour. But gosh, that seems long enough to kind of shake off the cobwebs and get moving, right? But it doesn't feel like it just yet as I sit in my car outside of Target once again. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'll find something to talk about. Uh, there's been things going on, therapy, running, work, blah blah blah. So I guess we'll talk about that. Yeah, let's just get to it. I don't know. It's my brother's birthday. It's Saturday, May 8th, 2021. And as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. How about that? It's my brother's birthday. Snuck up on me. And tomorrow, the 9th, Sunday, will be Mother's Day here in the US at least. I know it's different in the UK. I'm assume there's plenty of the world that just doesn't celebrate it or has something similar or otherwise named. Um, but yeah, it's May. Wow, second week of May. Time is really it's odd. This year has been going by what I think is faster than last year. Um, I guess that's normal, right? To normalize, things to normalize to some extent, and we're still in this. Well, it's not as severe a lockdown. We're still in this, social distance, physical distancing, mask wearing, don't do this, don't do that lifestyle. Um, but yeah. Um, so what's been going on? I think it's been 2 weeks since I chatted with you all, and I went through a rougher week. Admitted it to my therapist, and she was a little concerned. Spent a little bit of time hinting around at what's your safety plan kind of thing without saying, hey, we need a safety plan. And I don't think it was all that much, but I think it was um, remarkable, noticeable, something to her that I was saying things that I hadn't said before, as far as just feeling blah and meh and in a rut, or things like that. And yeah, so but I seem to have bounced back from that pretty well. I kind of, there's things going on, right? I've talked about different things. Um, but there's also just kind of like the ups and downs of life. And like I've talked about before, like for a lot of us listening to the show, and myself included, it's like the average person, whatever average is, whatever, right? Whatever their blah day, meh, kind of ruddy day is probably one of my better days, right? One of your better days. So when we have these kind of natural fluctuations, these ups and downs, some of the downs can just be, ugh, like monumental is too big a word, but substantial, right? And it doesn't mean that we're spiraling downwards. It could just mean that we're, biorhythms, whatever those are. That's a thing, right? Just the kind of, ups and downs, lulls, maybe like I hinted at the beginning, like 2 days of eating poorly triggers 3 days of feeling like garbage that, just brings you down. Um, or, a couple nights of poor sleep because there's a pee under the blankets or something. I don't know. Um, a pee, not some pee. uh, and so I think that's all it really was. And that session that I had with Megan, so this would have been last week Tuesday. um, we really kind of it was kind of, I want to say, fun. Like, we really got into some deeper talk about my perception of things, like, is doing the right thing doing the good thing, and is doing the good thing doing the right thing. Like, is there a difference there? And I don't know that in my mind there is a difference. If you do right, by my definition, you're doing good. And if you're doing good, then you're doing, the right thing. There's gradations of that, right? I mean, there's no, as much as I wish the world were black and white, there's a lot of gray. So, like, saying the right thing makes it sound like it's like the absolute right thing. And there isn't necessarily that, right? I mean, there's always gray areas. I hate those gray areas. So yeah, and so she was kind of arguing, not arguing, but her take was that doing the right thing isn't necessarily always good. Um, and I don't agree with that. In This is my worldview, right? Like, I don't I don't pretend to be right ever. Um, but like, there's the trolley, whatever. I don't want to. It's not a paradox. It's an experiment. But you're like on a trolley on the tracks, and up ahead there's three people on the tracks that you're going to run over and kill. Or you can flip a switch and switch tracks, and there's only one person on the tracks, and you're going to run them over and kill them. And in my mind, the right thing to do is flip the switch, because math, right? Three is greater than one. Um, and that's just like, that's the right thing to do, and it's also the good thing to do. And in that situation, the converse, I think, is also true, that the wrong thing to do is the bad thing to do. That's kind of way exaggerated, example of it. But yeah, I mean, so I think this gets into where I get myself into emotional, psychological issues is when it comes to, or maybe it's a reflection of, I don't know, when it comes to me and how I treat myself, and like, the helping of another is paramount to helping of myself. And because I am less than, in my immediate instant reaction thought process, then anything that helps someone else is mathematically the right thing and the good thing to do. Does that make sense? Right. So if I can, I don't know, do extra work so someone else doesn't have to do as much work, that's mathematically the right thing to do, the right thing on its own, the good thing to do. If I can forego something that maybe I want to do something that someone else wants to do, then that is the mathematically right thing to do, the right thing, the good thing. And regardless of quantity, quality, frequency, things like that. Like it's like I assume there's some kind of balance out there where I can do for you, do for you, do for you, but then it's got to come back and you have and you do for me, or in external, internal, I guess, to and from. I don't know what I want to say, but there's probably a so-called healthy limit to how much you put out versus what people put in to you. And like I don't keep that ledger, if it is such a thing. And so I will do outwardly things consistently rather than inwardly things. And I'm not perfect about it, right? So I'm not saying like I'm not a saint by any stretch, right? And part of it maybe is I in some combination think of others over thinking of myself, or putting myself down to a point where I just like emotionally, mentally collapse, and then I just don't do anything. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm at 11 minutes and I'm rambling. I don't know. Does this make sense? I mean, I don't know that I'm talking about anything particularly grand when it comes to depression or mental illness with this. It's more just kind of internal JP thought processes. So we talked about that quite a bit. Good and right, and it's weird that, I mean, there's that, like, I enjoy that conversation and it feels like a safe conversation. Like I don't feel like I need to prove myself or feel like I'm being disproven or being discovered or anything. And I think Megan appreciates the conversations too. I think, well, she said outwardly that like my case, my situation, my situation is interesting to her, and I believe she's fully in depth, in I don't know what I want to say, involved in wanting to make progress with me, and it's nice. I like it. It's fun, I guess, as fun as it can be. Even though at least the past 2 sessions we've had, I've wished that they didn't happen, leading up to them. And even yesterday, like, she was 5 minutes late coming to the telesession, and part of me was like thinking back to like the old college days where the rumor was that if a professor was 15 minutes late to a class, then like you didn't have to stay or whatever. And I was thinking, okay, what point can I just like hang up, shut down the app, send her a message and say, hey, listen, I had to get going, whatever, and like have a valid reason to skip out on a session just because I wasn't feeling like I wanted to chat. Which, big surprise. I really shouldn't surprise anybody. So yeah, I mean, that's going well. And even though I was in that rut a week ago or whatever, I think the next day following that kind of in-depth philosophical, psychological discussion that we had, I think that triggered a little bit of, hey, this is got the old brain waves going, and pick things up a little bit. And then we fast forward to today where it was hard to get out of bed again. And, I don't know. Turns out I don't know. though some of you have found me on the TikTok ecosystem, which is fun, and I like it. It's this is where I get myself in the confusion of what I've talked about, and what I haven't talked about. Right? I mean, there I talk for a minute a day, maybe two, 1 minute sessions, and I forget what I've talked about on a podcast, what I've talked about to Megan, what I've talked about to Nora, what I've talked about on TikTok, what I've talked about in my sleep, maybe. I don't know. But it's just another fun platform. It's interesting, and I think I'm getting myself settling into a side, as they say on TikTok, where I'm bumping into folks who have similar mindsets as me, and that's interesting. I've waded through the flaunting of cleavage and dancing and rear ends and all that kind of garbage, and still filtering out some of that stuff. But I'm getting to a point where it's maybe I will hear something mentally stimulating, a novel idea, or I've yet to find anything that I really chuckled at. But that's me. I think that's on me, not on TikTok. Yeah. I don't know what else I want to talk about. Excuse me. Let's talk about that frog in my throat. So I've been running still 4 times a week. Yeah, 4 times a week. I went out, this is Saturday, I went out Thursday, and I had, for this calendar year, my fastest 5K, my fastest mile, which is nice. The dieting hasn't really kept up with the running. I've kind of, hit this rut, so I had a little bump in the road kind of thing. But I did, I think in the past 3 weeks I am down overall, so I'm taking that as a win. I don't know if I mentioned it. I signed up. I scheduled my physical, my annual physical, which has been more than an annum since my last one. And so I set it for August sometime, and with the idea that gives me a goal to shoot for, to have lost a certain amount of weight, so that my doctor doesn't just say, "Hey, you need to lose some weight. Hey, you need to lose some weight, and you'd feel better, and your cholesterol would be lower, and whatever." Which she's absolutely right. I just hate hearing it from her. So I thought I'll set it for whatever it's set for, second week of August, something like that. So, yeah, so that's a thing. Good or bad, I don't know. It's a thing. Work has been interesting, I guess. There's renewed talk about this kind of promotion thing for JP to be a market team lead, as they call it, which would give me more responsibilities, and more money, and a little more clout, which you all know I'm all about the clout. And there's a longer story involved with that, but basically it's been renewed discussion, and as per the case, the upper ups are dragging their feet, which they seem to do. I don't know. I don't know. I think when I'm in my egotistical side, when I'm feeding my ego, that I think, wow, this is like, if I wanted to just skyrocket up in the company, I feel like I am as poorly qualified as I think I am. I think I'm more qualified and more able than a lot of the folks who are above me. And that's just when crabby JP shows up and says, "What the hell is wrong with these people?" And I couldn't possibly, even at this stage of my life, do that. I don't think I'm still not at a consistent consistent emotional and mental state, elevated state to take on that kind of responsibility. But yeah, so I mean that's supposed to be happening, which would be fun, I suppose. But yeah, it's funny. I was looking at the calendar and I can't find my doctor's appointment on the calendar. Oh, okay. Well, it's there. So, whew, okay. What else am I going to talk about? I don't know. That might be it. I want to hear from you. I really want to hear from you all. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you think of the show. Tell me how much you adore me. Tell me you love me, please. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope that everyone, like I think I am, are seeing the light at the end of the pandemic tunnel, right? I mean, I am fully vaccinated, and I think if we use 2 weeks after the second dose as a demarcation of like full effectiveness, then I am just a couple days away from that. But you know what that really means is in my worldview of this is just the way life is. It doesn't mean anything to me because doesn't change my habits. It doesn't, I'm not going out and going to a rave party and like whatever, breathing on other people and having other people breathe on me in any situation, right? I'm still fully masked. I still, all the conventions of society that we have right now. So, yeah, so, I mean, how'd I get there? How the heck did I get there? Yeah, so light at the end of the tunnel. And so it's possible that things could start easing up. And like with good reason this time instead of just political issues and pressures and stuff like that, which I don't want to get into. So yeah, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's new and exciting or old and depressing in your world. You can get a hold of me, jamulki@gmail.com, facebook.com/jamulki, @jamulki on Twitter and Instagram, www.jamulki.info. That's JAMOALKI. Or text me in the US or on WhatsApp, +1 248 648 1419. I would love to hear from you. Maybe you'd love to hear from me. Look me up on TikTok, Jamulki, if you want to. If you haven't looked back to some of the earlier video podcasts and you want to know how goofy my face looks, there you go. You can see what the inside of my car looks like, because much like recording these podcasts, that's where I video record myself. So yeah, that's going to be it. I'm going to try not to let it go another week or 2 weeks before I come back. Because much like every other week therapy sessions, it just feels like there's too much that's either playing catch up or has gone by the wayside and is forgotten. And yeah, I want to be more engaged with you all. So that's it, everybody. Be safe and be well. Thanks.